welcome back to What Arty Noobs. This is a Pz.Kpfw 2 Ausf J. Yes, it's the Panzer IIJ, the troll wagon. It's a tier 3. Tier 3. Yes, it is tier 3 German premium light tank. Really hardly qualifies as a light tank, but that's what it is. This one's on the south spawn of Abbey, and it's under the command of zoeballz. Now, I haven't featured a replay by Zoe in a while, and this replay is quite funny. You've got the troll wagon. It's basically an up-armoured version of the Panzer Mark II, which they decided to put a lot of armour on. It's got 80mm of armour at the front and 50mm at the sides. So it's very heavily armoured, but that makes it very, very slow. The gun is a 2cm gun, which is capable of doing 11 hit points of damage per shot, and it will penetrate 23mm with the standard, and you'll hardly go through anything with standard ammo. But with the premium ammo, you'll go through 46mm of armour, and at tier 3, that means just about every tank you come across is going to go through, and they're not likely to penetrate you because you're 50mm of armour and they just can't penetrate that much. Well, Zoe's very slowly decided to go down the centre of the map, and that's probably the best thing to do in this little tank. The only worry you have in this tank is if you come across Arty, because Arty can hit them with HE and really ruin their day, because now you don't get a whole lot of rounds in the mag at any one time. It's 10 rounds, that's all you've got, and you have to reload. You have to dial in, and it can take time to dial in on targets if they're those small. Okay, there's a nice number of enemy tanks over on the west side, and she's only penetrating a few of those tanks with the standard ammo, but she is getting some hits. Now, what this game is more interesting for is the amount of block damage that Zoe does. She's already blocked 209 hit points of damage, and she's got some hits on those enemy tanks, even though she didn't actually damage them that much. Now, somebody from the enemy team is capping. I think it's that BT5, and we've got an AFK tank in the cap area. Valentine. We just lost our BTSV, and Zoe's now trying to get shots on these guys as they make their way up into the cap area. Still firing standard ammo. It gets easier to get pens on standard ammo when you get closer to the enemy. Okay, BT7R tries for some shots. Panzer 1C, the neutered Panzer 1C, we should say, because they have now been neutered. They're no longer the Panzer 1C that they used to be. And with 2 tanks down on the enemy at the moment, Zoe's trying to auto-aim on a Panzer Mark, an M3 Stuart, or is it that Panzer 3E? Well, she's taking shots in the rear from BT5 that's over there, but again, he's not penetrating. And that's an ammo rack. So he hasn't got a single kill yet. And she's actually got a partially loaded mag at the moment. I don't know if she realises that. It's also a good idea to hit the C key, or to hit the reload key as quickly as you can as soon as you stop shooting, just in case you haven't actually loaded a full mag for your next shot. Okay, she's going to be taking all comers there. Down to just 5 tanks left in their team. And, oh, she just got hit in the tracks by BTSV, who did do some damage to the tracks. But that's about it. Go for the BT7 Art. And she's starting to get some damage. Yep, she's getting some pens. And she's still blocking a lot of damage. Now she's getting some serious damage on him. There you go, because she's close enough for the rounds to be penetrating. Trying to get around into the ass of that BT7 as he retreats. And the BT7 Art is down, but oh, she's got another comer and she's blocking even more damage. Panzer 1C. I once saw the Salty Jedi win a battle playing the Panzer Mark IIJ with standard ammo. It is possible to do so. It's very difficult though. You fire an awful lot of rounds which don't penetrate. And she's blocking shots now from a BTSV, the Soviet premium light tank. Looks like a boat. She's still bouncing rounds. Now the enemy have got their own Panzer Mark IIJ, and he's up in the cap area at the moment. She's being shot in the ass by that BTSV. She's running low on premium ammo. She might have to switch to the premium now to get shots on that Panzer Mark II. She's still firing standard. That BTSV is on his last legs, and now I think the enemy BTSV, oh, she's all alone now. And now the BTSV is out the game. He's a one-shot. And here comes two Panzer Mark IIJs. And they're going to have as much difficulty trying to penetrate Zoe as Zoe is going to have penetrating them. Because basically, the side armor and the rear armor is only at the maximum penetration of the 2cm guns on the APCR. And you can see that Zoe's now racked up 3,000 hit points of block damage. The other Panzer Mark II is close to 0 range, and they're now just sitting around her, firing rounds in, and Zoe's killed the BTSV. And she's loaded the premium now. Here she goes. Oh, she had to load a full mag, and now she's firing at them, and she did receive some damage there from the other Panzer Mark II, and she's being trolled by them. Yes, they're pushing her about, trying to get her in a position where they can actually pen her. She has lost half her hit points already, but they're having a lot of difficulty trying to get shots into her, and Zoe is now pulling away to attack this BTSV. She's loading another mag, and the BTSV is taking damage. She's up to 5k of block damage. She kills the BTSV, and they're still trying to pen her, and only getting 1 or 2 shots in every now and then. Zoe's lost her commander. She keeps losing her commander, even after she uses the first aid kit. Oh, and some more enemy tanks have arrived. And Zoe can pen those ones fairly easily. And she gets away from the other Panzer IIJs to chase after this Panzer 1C, who's now capping. Now his armour isn't enough to withstand Zoe's shells. And she's now down to 10% of her hit points left. And finally, a Chiha manages to kill her with an APCR round. And that's it. Game's over. But she blocked 6,504 hit points of damage at tier 3. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Well, it's a bruiser medal for zoeballz in the Pz.Kpfw 2 Ausf. She managed to get a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of her own vehicle, a cool headed for blocking at least or surviving at least 10 ricochets or non-penetrating shots in a row. In fact, she survived a lot more than that. But no other medals, I'm afraid. She lost the chance of getting a steel wall when she died, I'm afraid, at the end of the battle. But it was funny seeing 2 Panzer IIJs, and they were not able to penetrate her. And it finally came to a Chiha with an APCR round to finish Zoe off. Let's have a look at team score. Well, we can see that Zoe didn't get the highest damage on her team. That went to the Valentine, who got 1,381 hit points of damage, but he was beaten by the Panzer IIJ on the enemy team, who got 1,847. He picked up a high caliber and a steel wall during that game as well. And the next high score on damage was the BTSV that Zoe did kill. He managed to get 764 hit points. And finally, the Type 2597, who managed, that's the Chiha that killed Zoe, and they managed to get 727 hit points of damage. When it came to kills, it was the enemy Panzer IIJ who managed to get 5 kills, 3 kills to the BTSV, and 2 kills to the Chiha. Zoe also got 2 kills, so did the Samur S35, the Valentine, and the T29. When it came to base XP, it was the Panzer Mark II who managed to get 1,103, BTSV got 761, the other Panzer IIJ managed to get 516, and we can see that Zoe got 407, which is not bad, but yes, she was beaten by several other players on the enemy team, 4 of them there, and 7, so she came in 8th place when it came to base XP in that game. She fired 474 shots, most of it standard ammo, 245 direct hits, 55 penetrations on the enemy, 600 alpha damage, 600 damage, hit points of damage altogether, all of it at close range. She received 468 hits. Only 24 of those actually penetrated. 442 were non-penetrations blocked by the armor, and 2 hits by way of splash damage. Total damage blocked was 6,504 hit points altogether. She damaged 5 of the enemy, killed 2 of them, and did 202 hit points of damage assistance, and she got 12 defense points when she reset the cap. On a premium count, she earned 10,934 credits, but this is the kicker with the Panzer IIJ. The shells are kind of expensive, the APCR ones are, and as a consequence, after repair and ammunition resupply, she actually ended up with a loss for the game of 24,820 credits. So really the answer is, if you are going to buy a Panzer Mark II Ausf J, you have to remember it is going to be a credit drain, not a credit producer. And so consequently you ought to, if you have the option, buy a tier 8 which can actually generate credits rather than spend it. But if you just enjoy it for the fun of it, the Panzer Mark II can actually be an absolute hoot if you just clean up the enemy team, because they're just unable to penetrate you. 407 XP, 367 for this being a premium vehicle, which means yes, it can be used as a trainer, but there's only 3 crew. 978 experience points altogether. So it's a huge amount of damage blocked by zoeballz, and yes, I think there's some. It's a very interesting tank, but personally I wouldn't buy one myself, because obviously I realise that A, it's rather expensive, and B, I don't really wish to spend that much in the way of credits just to seal club a lot of people. In fact, Zoe didn't seal club a lot of people in this game, because they have kind of nerfed the Panzer IIJ, kind of, because it used to be virtually impregnable to any other tank other than an Arty. And so most of the shells, it would normally just bounce, and even another Panzer IIJ would have a great deal of difficulty trying to kill another Panzer IIJ of the same type. And I've seen some battles where 2 Panzer Mark IIs ended up running out of ammunition and just pushing each other at the end of the game until the game time just ran out, because there was nothing left they could do. They couldn't move fast, they couldn't get to the cap, and as a consequence the game was over, with 2 players just pushing each other about. So if you enjoyed this replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel, and thank you for watching.